Honorable members, can we now, before we start, and can we please have a moment of silence, prayer or meditation? Can we all stand? Thank you. Honorable members, this is a budget debate of the legislature that we are conducting through hybrid means. You are reminded that this budget debate will be conducted in terms of our standing rules. Our standing rules also define the present as follows. Present means the attendance of a member in a visual meeting by electronic means in a manner that allows the member to join and participate in the meeting. The standing rules further provide that majority of the members of a committee constitute a quorum. The table staff have confirmed that we have the required number of members present. In order to commence the session, the meeting is therefore properly constituted and may formally continue. Members, before we proceed with the budget debate, I must reiterate the ruling of the Speaker relating to addressing connectivity problems. The Speaker has ruled that the following measures will be adopted to try and assist members who may not be able to participate due to connectivity issues. If a member has a connectivity problem, the presiding officer will continue with other speakers on the speaker's list for a debate. If the member regains connectivity before the response to the debate has commenced, the presiding officer will be flexible in applying the speaker's list, and the member will be allowed to continue and finalize his or her speech, as long as the member reconnects prior to the commencement of the response to the debate. Secondly, we also ask members who are debating to allocate fellow party member who will be able to take over the member's speech and read the member's speech into the record. Presiding officers will then allow the fellow party members to take over the member's speech. If a member does have a connectivity problem, we will follow the above guidance to try and assist members. I hope that this is in order. Members not debating are reminded that at all times to mute their microphones and switch off their cameras. Excuse me. Also, members are requested to take care of any noise in the background that interfere with the broadcast of proceedings. Honorable members, I further wish to confirm that the Budget Report 2023-2024 of the Agriculture and Rural Development Portfolio Committee has been tabled in the terms of the visual rules. We will now proceed with the matters on the agenda, being the debate on Vote 3. Can I now call upon the MEC to give us his report? Honorable Zuma. Thank you, sir. Msholozi, you have 45 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. Honorable Premier of the Province of KwaZulu-Natal, Honorable Dube Ncube, honorable members of this legislature, honorable members of the Executive Council, amakhosi asendlunkulu akhona, Inkosi Ushinga ubethe uzothumela uDeputy wakhe Inkosi Sithole, ngiyacabanga ukuthi ukhona. Religious leaders, Chairperson of ADA, Ubaba Macingwane, and the entire board yaga ADA. Officials of the department led by the acting D. Udlamini, sector stakeholders, citizens of KwaZulu-Natal, members of the media, and ladies and gentlemen. Honorable Chairperson, I have honored to table my maiden budget speech for the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development. At the onset, I wish to express my appreciation to the Honorable Premier, Honorable Nomusa Dube Ngube, and my political home, the African National Congress, for the opportunity to serve our people in this beautiful province of KwaZulu-Natal. Since I have been mandated with this task, I have had an opportunity to visit various parts of the province of KwaZulu-Natal and engage with our people. The primary aim of these engagements was to solicit their perspective on what the department needs to do to strengthen our program of action. I held a press briefing in Durban on the 1st of March as part of our 100 days program to introduce our vision and outline our planned initiatives. This was followed by the agricultural stakeholders engagement on the 2nd of March at Sitara. In this engagement, we emphasized the importance of collective responsibility and why the sector stakeholders needed to work together. I have been moved by the work that has been done and the dedication of our farmers who are striving to make meaningful contribution to the economy. They have reminded me of the wise words of our former president, Nelson Mandela, that I quote, "Poverty is not neutral, it is man-made and can be overcome," close quote. Under the leadership of the Honorable Premier, on the 4th March, we held an agricultural indaba at Mandeni, wherein she outlined a suite of agricultural development initiatives and further demonstrated our commitment to dialogue and working with all stakeholders, including Amakosi, whom we need for a number of strategic development programs, including land access. We really want the industry to have a collective voice. The industry must be at the forefront with regards to the transformation of the sector. It is therefore imperative that we have an ongoing engagement and partnership where appropriate on issues affecting the sector, including the important issue of energy. Honorable members, I wish to express my appreciation to the Portfolio Committee of Agriculture and Rural Development for their continued support and guidance. There is no doubt that the committee had provided valuable inputs in the preparation of this budget vote through the various deliberations we have had on the annual performance plan and the budget of the department. Same goes to other committees of the legislature, such as Finance Committee and SCOPA. We appreciate all inputs by members of this August House. Delivering the KwaZulu-Natal State of the Province address, Honorable Premier remarked, and I quote, the trials of the past 3 years forged us into a stronger province. We are accelerating the pace of economic development, the creation of jobs, and eliminating poverty and sufferings among the people of KwaZulu-Natal, close quote. Indeed, Honorable Chairperson, this is being implemented by the provincial government as the sector. We are playing our part. As we search along, we are implementing in line with His Excellency President Ramaphosa call when he said, and I quote, "We shall leave no one behind," close quote. Our program will be inclusive of women, youth, people with disability, and interested parties. Whilst life has been incredibly difficult for most people and the sector of the economy were disrupted, we had noted the improvement and that have happened and the resilience not only of the wonderful people of this land,
Sorry,
but also
Msholos, can we be assisted of please mute asizosibamba Msholos Katsako. Please, Iwipari, please assist us on these issues. We have actually addressed the issue that all whips need to assist us with this matter, please. Thank you. You can proceed, Msholos.
agriculture is one of those primed to for growth and inconsistent need of our collective investment to secure both our food security and to stimulate socio-economic activity. With this budget vote, we hope to demonstrate our resolve to drive agricultural growth and the rural development. We are grateful of His Majesty's remark when he addressed the opening of the KwaZulu-Natal legislature earlier this year. His Majesty asserted that his vision for the KwaZulu-Natal is that the province should be, and I quote, a trailblazer in encouraging its inhabitants to collectively work towards maximizing the land potential, human capabilities, and the fauna and flora of our environment for the benefit of our localities and South Africa as a whole, close quote. In this address, the King emphasized the importance of agriculture as a sector to bring about economic development, growth, and social cohesion, in which in turn could bring job opportunities and self-reliance amongst the citizens. Our budget vote today takes cognizance of what the Honorable Premier raised during the State of the Province address. The Premier highlighted two flagship interventions implemented by the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, namely RASET and AgriHubs. He called upon the MEC for the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development will provide more details in the budgets, in the department's budget vote regarding provision of comprehensive farmer support, seed multiplication, and also reviving the one home, one garden interventions, among others. Today, we wish to use this opportunity to do exactly that. We are going to outline to this House how our suite of agricultural development programs the department will be executing in the 2023-24 financial year. Our program as a department is focused on unlocking growth, create jobs, and achieve food security. Honorable members, I have directed the department to refocus our interventions to directly respond to the triple challenges of poverty, unemployment, and inequality. Most importantly, to improve efficiency in the delivery of services to our people. I believe it is in order that before we provide details of our new programs, that we spend some time in reflecting on our commitment the department had made in the previous budget vote to ensure we remain transparent and accountable to this House. On the implementation of AgriHubs, last year the department announced the program of establishing AgriHubs in the province of KwaZulu-Natal as a game changer in the agricultural development and value chain. I am pleased to report that the department has gone some distance in planning and execution of the AgriHubs. To date, the department has received a confirmation of a funding commitment of about 153 million over the 2023-24 MTEF. The department will be utilizing funding of 8.4 million allocated to the BFI in the 2023-24 to continue with the planning and finalization of specifications and implementing agent agreements. The total cost of all 5 AgriHubs is estimated at over 3 billion. Environment impact assessment are at an advanced stage of approval in respect of all 5 planned AgriHubs. Furthermore, geotech studies have been conducted for most of the identified sites. AgriHubs have a strong resonate with the government's agricultural growth strategies because of each hub's ability to integrate secondary and tertiary value-added centers to primary agricultural products. They carry prospect to transform the agricultural landscape by reducing the huge gap between commercial and developing agriculture in the province and ultimately South Africa. This gap is particularly evident in terms of access to production, infrastructure, financial resources, and markets where previously disadvantaged producers are benefiting less from agriculture value chains. Agriculture industry is one of the worst sectors in terms of market concentration, and it still privileges big industry players whilst providing minimum opportunities for new entrants to operate successfully at the commercial scale. We are committed to change this phenomenon. It is this administration's resolve to ensure that the concentration of previously disadvantaged people in primary production is addressed and upward mobility opportunities are created for capable producers to move into the secondary and tertiary level of production. On job creation and opportunities towards agricultural intervention, in the 2023-24 financial year, through implementation of various departmental programs, the department is planning to create about 3,909 jobs opportunities. RASET program being the main contributor with 1,950 jobs, followed by the land care program with 621 jobs, then the unemployed graduate program with 340 jobs, and others. These programs include, among others, EPWP, internship program, learnership program, and horticulture and agronomic seed program. On the establishment of construction unit, following the major flood that hit the province in 2022, the department received a suggestion from the Portfolio Committee of Agriculture and Rural Development that it should consider buying the yellow plant equipment to assist farmers affected by floods to clear their infields and on-farm roads to speedy their operational recovery. The department is pleased to report that the yellow plant equipment has been procured and was officially unveiled for use by the Honorable Premier at Mandeni during the KwaZulu-Natal Agricultural Index. The department is proud to announce that the establishment of the construction unit within the agricultural and engineering services will be utilizing this yellow plant equipment to improve service delivery through construction, rehabilitation, and maintenance of agricultural infrastructure. The construction unit will focus on deep tanks, boreholes, dam construction and rehabilitation, as well as farm road construction and maintenance. On load shedding impact on agricultural sector. The sector is suffering significant economic losses due to the power problems. We have received complaints from different farmers across the province regarding load shedding. Farming business are forced to spend more money on installing backup generators and alternate energy, which divert investment from production. The unfortunate aspect of this will manifest in lower than anticipated yields for irrigation sector. It is becoming increasingly difficult to predict yields. The farmers in dairy and poultry industry have also shown particular vulnerability. Consumers will eventually have to carry additional cost burden, which in the long term has food security implication. As the province, we therefore support the energy plan for the agricultural initiative that the Minister of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development, Honorable Thoko Didiza, is driving to have the sector exempted from load shedding and support for alternative energy sources for farmers. We will continue participating in this engagement, working with all social and business partners in the industry. On agricultural development intervention, today, members of this House will be pleased to note that we have set aside an allocation of 376.6 million, of which 204 104.6 million will go towards providing comprehensive farmer support and 171.9 million for food security interventions. Under the comprehensive farmer support, 74.7 million will be implemented by the Agribusiness Development Agency and 99.8 million for agricultural support for farmers in the form of direct funded grants for infrastructure and inputs, as well as credible and non-credible bearing training for farmers. The department's food security interventions include communal investments such as boreholes, deep tanks, fencings, and etc., and amounting to 57.1 million, 80.7 million for mechanization services and production inputs, 10 million for communal beef and goat improvement, and 8 million towards the township agriculture. Ngiyacamba ukuthi uhlalo nonobhala weTheku ngino ukuthi unobhala ukhona uzoba happy ukuthi sifocusana with township agriculture. Also, sugarcane industry will receive an allocation of 10 million to fund the sugarcane for seed cane program to assist emerging black cane growers. On food security and the impact of food inflation, it is concerning that according to General Household Survey published by Stats SA in 2022, about 20.9% of households in KwaZulu-Natal still experience inadequate food access. To this end, all social partners will continue to be mobilized to face this challenge head-on through the ongoing promotion of household food security initiatives like One Home, One Garden, and various other programs unpacked in this budget policy speech today. Honorable Chairperson, government remains concerned about the rising levels of food inflation in the recent past. According to Stats SA, price for food and non-alcohol have increased by 13.6% over the past 12 years. This also affected stable commodities, including the price of maize meal, which recorded a 34.7% increase over the same period. Although this is influenced by several factors, including the prevailing geopolitical terrain affecting agriculture inputs and supply chain, our citizens are dependent on the state's ability to provide an enabling environment to support their livelihood. With these prevailing constraints, the programmatic responses by the state and the department will be biased towards the vulnerable household. The department has over the past 5 years supported 60,806 households with food security interventions, translating to 206,740 people. Further, 15,644 households will be supported in this current financial year. The department will strengthen food security interventions by intensifying distribution of seeds to over 100 households in the current financial year. Sizozichitha ngempela imbewu. On township agriculture, the department has allocated 8 million to pilot township agriculture, especially at KwaMashu, Umlazi, Inanda, Mbumbulu, and Umsunduzi. The program will then be rolled out to all other major town centers in the province. On agricultural farm support project for performance, honorable members, the department's approach to farm support since its review in 2019-2020 is showing signs of maturity, especially as it relates to the utilization and the performance of the conditional grants under the Comprehensive Agricultural Support Program. In the previous financial year, the department recorded 100% expenditure in the utilization of conditional grant, breaking its historic obstinate record of chronic underspending. In the 2023-24 financial year, the department will invest 131 million to support 41 projects with on and off-farm infrastructure, biological asset and production inputs. In 2019, the department reviewed its funding policy and implementation approach, which previously focused on the quality of projects implemented towards a change in focus on the quality of project implemented. The main intention of this approach is to see farmers graduating to smallholder and commercial production. This approach will apply mainly to the red meat, white meat, horticulture, and grain value chains. To date, 228 agricultural projects of economic value were implemented with an investment of 486 million, supporting 1,138 beneficiaries. This has seen positive results, with projects implemented producing successful black commercial farmers who can compete with their white counterparts. Under the red meat commodity, the department prides itself for having produced 9 commercial farmers and 10 smallholder farmers who are currently actively producing into the South African value chain. The best performing red meat farmer include Nyenzenhle Holdings and Ezeketolo Products, and we congratulate them to set the standard for many to follow. Another story of success is the establishment of 3 commercial farmers and 4 smallholder farmers under the horticulture value chain. One of the black farmers who successfully graduated from smallholder to commercial farming is Bradley Dickens. He was supported with center pivots, a shed, a potato sorting machine, and production inputs. Through this support, Bradley is currently the main supplier of potato seeds in the region. Is also supplying potatoes to Marken and Fresh Mart. The department is also proud to indicate that it has established 8 smallholder and 2 commercial farmers within the white meat value chain, amongst them being Sokuba Farming. Sokuba Farming scooped up 3 awards during the recent 25th annual carcass competition organized by South African Meat Industry Company. Our agricultural development approach is guided by the National Agriculture and Agro-Processing Master Plan, which is a sectoral economic framework that supports our commitment to develop a competitive, transformed, and inclusive agriculture and food value chain. On red meat and white meat value chain, the meat industry is well placed to grow and in the process of to contribute towards wider economic development in South Africa, both the production and the provision of employment in more rural population of the country. To capitalize on this growth, the department's plan to establish red meat hubs in Umgungundlovu and Zululand respectively are at an advanced stage. The department has assisted 1,761 beneficiaries within the red and white meat value chains since 2019-2020, with a total expenditure of 248 million. Furthermore, the department is planning to assist 38 beneficiaries in the 2023-24 financial year with the budget allocation of 74 million. Support will be provided across the economic classification of farmers and producers, which includes subsistence, smallholder and commercial producers. On horticulture value chain, the horticulture value chain are quite critical for the food and agri-business sector. In the 2019-2020 financial year, the department has assisted 851 producers in the horticulture value chain with a total investment of 29 million. The support provided includes establishment of and revamping of horticulture infrastructure and support of product inputs. The department is planning to support 20 producers in the 2023-24 financial year with an allocation of 26 million. These projects include production of higher value enterprises like macadamia macadamia nuts, pineapple, etc. This horticulture program promotes vegetable production, including mushrooms for household food security in line with the RASET program. On grain value chain, the department supported 6,725 grain producers since the year 2019-2020, who planted a total of 47,549 hectares. The department, through multi-planting season program, will put 22,300 hectares under production to support 2,639 grain producers with a budget of 56 million. On commercial investment and infrastructure program, this year's January 8 statement recommitted government to increase investment in infrastructure and ensure the construction of projects is undertaken with the necessary agencies. This department is expected to provide critical agricultural infrastructure that will help grow the sector and expand farmer productions. In an endeavor to ensure the communal farmers participate in the red meat value chain, the department will introduce commercial investment program. The department has allocated 57 million to rehabilitate and scoop 34 dams, construct 52 deep tanks, construct 32 boreholes, and fencing grazing camps. The department has lined up massive investment in irrigation projects to be implemented in 2023-24 financial year. The amount of 26 billion has been made available for the implementation of the irrigation projects across the province, but with significant portion in Umkhanyakude and Zululand district respectively. On mechanization model, fundamental to the success of and the development of the sector, especially in the rural areas in the provision of sustainable mechanization, the department will be strengthening its approach by firstly, increase the fleet owned by government. Secondly, we are considering limiting the utilization of service providers to mainly focus on major operations. Thirdly, the department is in the advanced stage with the disposal of tractors which were allocated to communal estate. The intention is to allocate these tractors to those communal estates which have proven to be functional and still operating, guided by the founding principles. As bafuni labo kanda abagcwele ukuthola ukuthi bahluleka ngina ukukhandwa isondo kodwa banama number plate department bethi department ayiwazi ukusiza. Singcono sibase kulabo abantu abasebenzayo banikezwe bona so that isothanga bethu as a government sibalekele labantu basekhaya. On One Home, One Garden, the department is steadfast in its resolve to promote One Home, One Garden program. This program is aimed at encouraging vulnerable farm households to reduce their reliance on handouts and produce their own food to supplement their daily food nutrition requirement. Honorable members, the department will intensify the program through the provision of deserving household items such as handheld implements, seeds and seedling and fertilizer. Furthermore, the department will be in a drive to augment this with distribution of seed packs to more than 100,000 households. Sizoskipha ngempela imbewu. Seed and seedlings multiplication program. Honorable members, the availability of food quality seed is one of the utmost important for sustainable production and for food security. The department has made inroads in ensuring that poor households have access to quality seeds as mandated by the Provincial Executive Council. The department will expand on the seed multiplication program at Makatini, Dandi, Sidara, and Kokstad research stations. In the last financial year, the department planted 4,145 hectares of land utilizing own seed and creating 105 job opportunities for youth, including training officials as food inspectors in compliance with Planting Improvement Act. Agricultural product blending and certification. Commercial markets in South Africa and globally are currently undergoing a rapid evolution with modern retailers and consumer placing emphasis on stringent food safety and quality of standards. On the livestock program, the department had committed that 2022 was a year of livestock. To demonstrate this commitment, a total of 28 livestock value chain projects at a cost of 76 million were implemented. A portion of this investment is aimed at the provision of animal feed, fencing material, breeding stock, extension, advisory services, as well as other forms of support. The department will continue with the provision of support to livestock farmers on improving genetic in communal breeding herd and communal grazing scheme. The department has conceptualized a cattle breeding plan. Lana ke sifuna ukusho nje ukuthi sifuna ukuthi sihambise inkomo zohlobo endaweni zakithi emakhaya, emakhosini nakubalimi nje basemakhaya. Inkomo ezifana ikakhulukazi inkunzi kufana no beef master, ama bonsmara, ama angus. Sizoshintsha futhi nohlobo lezimvu ezikhona esizifuyile la KwaZulu Natal. Sizoqhubeza ukuthi ingqama ezohlobo sizihambise emakhaya ukuze sishintshe uhlobo lezimvu emakhaya. Lokho kuhlangana nokuthi sishintshe nembuzi. Mhlonipha umsimanga ngiyazi ufuye kakhulu, so shintshe imbuzi lapho asikhethile ukuthi ukuphi sizofika lapho. On animal food support and establishment of hatchery, nalana sithi inkinga esikhona kakhulu kubantu bakithi ukuthi ukudla kuyadula, sikuthenga kwalaba ubonqiwa. Sithi ke njenge department sizonzenzela thina ngaphakathi ukudla, kodwa uma sikwenza lokho ngaphakathi sobe sifundisa futhi abalimi ukuthi nobabafuyi ukuthi bazakhele bona ukudla ukuze banciphise i-cost abayithengayo. Lokho sikwenza nanokuthi kulabafuyi beenkuku amachwane lawo esiwathengayo ayadula nawo so akhiqiza ngaphakathi ku department bese sifundisa even nabafuyi beenkuku ukuthi bazikhiqizele bona amachwane ukuze bakwazi ukufuya kahle izinkukhu. on the implementation of biosecurity to reduce animal disease risk. Nalana hlalo sithi uma singasfocus kulento yokuthi senze isiqiniseko sokuthi inkomo zethu zigonyiwe kuyahlupha kakhulu. Ngikhuluma ngesizulu lokho ngani ngoba ngifuna ukuthi bezwe abantu basemakhaya ukuthi uma inkomo eyodwa ingagonywanga ithelela inkomo zomphakathi kugcina sekuvalelwa zonke lezo nkomo zomphakathi zingabe sakwazi ukuyodayisa nokuthi zibulawe ngani ngoba sihluleke nje ukuthi sisheshe siyigome inkomo. Umgomo umahala, uhulumeni uyawenza mahala. Sithi nalapho ke sicela ukuthi abantu bakithi basilekelele njengomnyango ukuthi kugonywe inkomo ukuze sinqande ukufa kwezinkomo. The establishment of import and export certificate unit. The department is in a renewal drive to ensure to make sure that veterinary services offerings are catered for. In this regard, a new import and export certification unit has recently been established to reduce dependency on services offered by third party in regard to matters which are legislated and mandatory to us. Lana ke inkinga esinayo ukuthi uma sifuna ukuhambisa imikhiqizo yethu ngaphandle uhulumeni noba i-department ibithembela kubantu bangaphandle ukuthi basinikezele i-permit ukuthi sihambise imikhiqizo. Inkinga ke yaloko ukuthi labantu abangekho kwi-department abama service provider abekho abamnyama khona. Kuma permits esiwabonile anikezwe abantu akuthiwa abahambisa imikhiqizo yabo phesheya, abaningi babo elaba bakama ngezandla. Abantu bakithi abamnyama abakwazi ukuthola ukuthi bangene kuleyo lokho. Sibona ngathi khona abavalile ngoba bekhipha lawo ma-permit bengafanele ukuthi bavale ngoba benzela ugovernment. Sizokwenza thina ke njengogovernment ukuze sikwazi ukunikeza abantu bakithi abamnyama. And the increased access to veterinary laboratories. There's any issues esithe sifuna ukungenelela nje kakhulu kuyona le ukuthi uma sifuna inkomo zethu zigula emakhaya nobimbuzi zigula azikho la isibhedlela lezi ezikhona la emadolobheni ama clinic lawo. So senze kanje na ukuze sikwazi ukusiza abantu bakithi abamnyama. Sithenge ama mobile clinic awu2 ukuze mangabe kuthiwa kunenkinga endaweni ethize kuhamba i-mobile clinic ifike iteste yonke into same time sithola ukuthi yini inkinga kuleyo ndawo noba ike emakhaya nobe kuphi. Enye engithi ngikhulume ngesizulu khona sizoyizwa kahle njengabantu basemakhaya. Kunalena ke yomthunzi wenkukhu isikhathi sami siyagijima. Kulena sithi sisethe aside to 10 million. Lo 10 million sifuna ukusiza abantu bakithi. Baningi abantu bakithi ade beboshwa kade ingakavunyelwa lento. Beboshelwa nje ukuthi bayitshalile noba ukuthi bayibhema eBergville. So ke sithi awu4 ama districts esofocusa kuwo. Yiko Thukela seshilo onaboro Mhlomuka. uGungundlovu kube uMzinyathi nase Herigwana. Thina ke njengokuhulumeni inkinga esiyibona inkinga ukuthi laba bantu bakithi abamnyama abafuna ukungena kule industry abakwazi ukwenza lokho ngani ngoba ilicense yabo iyadula kabi nama process made. Sisethe aside to 10 million ukusiza nje labo bantu bangene ukuthi bathola ama certificate ne permission yokwenza lokho. Honorable Chairperson, on rural development, when opening the KwaZulu-Natal legislature on the 23rd of February, His Majesty Isilo Samabandla highlighted 3 critical points on the importance of rural development. His Majesty pointed out, first, traditional institutions in all their different forms and levels should drive rural development. Second, development can best be carried out through a collaborative effort of sectors and stakeholders. Third, the development is a multifaceted concept. Therefore, rural development should be undertaken in a holistic manner involving social, human capital, and economical dimension, close quote. We agree with the assertion of His Majesty. Our approach to rural development starts with the recognition of the traditional leaders as custodians of land and rural customs. The success of agricultural production relies on the availability of land. We appreciate that in rural areas, land is a common good available to all citizens to utilize. Therefore, we encourage the citizens of KwaZulu-Natal to ensure that we utilize land for agricultural production. This could be a food garden at home, community garden, noma ke nje ukulima emasimini ukuze sonke siziphilise ngokutshala nokulima. Honorable Chairperson, and on facilitation program, sithike lana kakhulukazi inkinga ziba kulaba siba siza njengama co-op sibabuya kube nengxabano phakathi. Sesiyenze ukuthi sibe nophiko nje zobhekana nokuthi ligame ukuxazulula ingxabano emazivela ukuze singakhiphi imali eningi siuhulumeni ukuthi partner isikhathi sekuyaxatshanwa ugcona ukuthola ukuthi project ayisaqhubeki. On an unemployed agricultural graduate youth program, the department will be enrolling a third cohort of 340 agricultural graduates onto farms. The benefit of this program is evident in the young people that have received coaching and mentorship from the experienced farmers in the field. This is helping to inject innovation and employability and the culture of entrepreneurship in the sector. On agribusiness development agents, we are saying the ADA has continued to develop farmers and entrepreneurs for agro-processing to achieve a more competitive, equitable, and sustainable agricultural sector. We have reported several times about the reconfiguration of Umjindi and Ntingwe Tea. The aim was to enable entities to generate a revenue. On the ADA mandate and PFMA listing, the department is in the process of assisting ADA to operate as a revenue generating entity by changing its PFMA listing from Schedule 3C to 3D, a state-owned entity. Sicabanga ukuthi izosiza ukuthi ikwazi ukuthi bazifunela bona imali ukuze bazi ukuthi bazimele masenze njalo. On commodity value chains and partnership, si lista ama commodities awu 5 ACT uADA ufocuse kuwona angeke ngisawamantion are covered we report. On market access, Honorable Chairperson, si as Kenya njengo department ukuthi siwaze ukuthi
Honorable Msholozi, your time is up, but sizosibamba lapha ezantsi. Kulwa 20 minutes wako, we'll see ukuthi how much more you can take. You can proceed. Thank you.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. On Ntingwe,
Because I'm also owing you 2 minutes. You remember I've stopped when I was trying to address members as well. Thank you.
In fact, to 5 minutes, not 2 minutes. On Ntingwe, Ntingwe, sizama ukuthi siyilungise Ntingwe ikwazi ukuthi isebenze kabusha. okunye sizama ukwenza ukuthi ithole imarket. Siyazikhanya ke la ukuthi intingo isikwazi ukuthi yenze isivumelwano ezoqala njengaqala uMay nje ukuthi isupply izibhedlela zikahulumeni eziwu27 la KwaZulu Natal ngeti esilakha kuthina njengohulumeni. IMakhathini irrigation scheme nayo sithi ene kukhona imali esi-allocate-ile ukuze ikwazi ukuthi ene isize ama-farmers ethu amaningi alapha. Sifuna ukuthi siyenze ukuthi iMakhathini ibe sesimeni eyayenzela ukuthi eyayiqala ukuthi yenze. Ngenkathi yakhiwa kwathiwa iyokwazi ukusupply KwaZulu Natal yonke ngokudla ngenxa yesimo sezulu khona. Otshala noba yinini ebhlobo ebusika nasehlobo ungadinga ukuthi uze wenza lento yama tunnels. So sifuna ukuthi ibuyele lapho kwathiwa iyozikwazi ukuthi ifite neAfrica yonke. If ikwazi ukuthi research research ayisho njalo sifuna ukuthi siyise kuleyo level. On clean AG audit outcome. Last year, the department reported that it had achieved a successful unqualified AG audit outcome in 2020-21 financial year and committed working towards achieving a clean audit. We are pleased to report to this House that indeed, for the first time in the history of this department, a clean audit outcome was achieved in 2021-22 financial year. ADA also achieved a similar feat when they received a clean audit outcome as well. We are immensely proud of this achievement for both the department and the entity. This serves as a testament of a maturing systems of internal controls and governance within the department. Chairperson, our commitment to clean, efficient, and effective corporate governance is unyielding. We are building on these outcomes to ensure administrative excellence, to support robust and comprehensive agricultural support to KwaZulu-Natal farmers and citizens. On an improved budget expenditure, the department's efforts are indeed bearing fruits. We are honored to report that in the 2020 to present the summary of the 2023-24 financial year budget vote 3, which is agriculture and rural development. On program 1, which is administration, the allocation is 699 million. On program 2, which is agriculture, it's 1.7 billion. On program 3, which is rural development, is 62.2 million. The total of 2,515,153,000 is what we are presenting today. In conclusion, as I conclude, Chairperson, I wish to express my sincere appreciation to the acting head of the department, Ubaba Udlamini, the departmental staff, okuyona ayilidayo, stakeholders esiba engagile nabo, our entity chairperson, the entire board, ka-ADA, led by Chairperson uMacengwane, for their continued support. I extend my gratitude to the Premier, Honorable Dube Ncube, and members of the Portfolio Committee of the Provincial Executive Committee, Council, members of this House, members of the Portfolio Committee of Agriculture and Rural Development, led by the Chairperson, Umama Uspilda Sapet, for their guidance and support. My appreciation goes to my political home, the African National Congress, for the support and affording me the opportunity to serve the people of our Zulu Natal. To my family, I will forever be grateful for their love and support. I am excited to travel this journey with the citizens of our province in changing their lives for better and ensuring that we use the agricultural sector to deal head-on with the terrible challenges of poverty, unemployment, and inequality engulfing our citizens. I thank you, Honorable Chairperson.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Zuma. We now move on to our Honorable NNC Bidla of the ANC, 10 minutes. The chairperson of the committee.
Honorable Chairperson, special greetings to the board. Honorable Chairperson, members of the Executive Council present, Honorable Leader of Government Business, Mr. Duma, Honorable members of the August House, the Chairperson of ADA Board, Mr. Themnkosi Mchunu, sawubona Macingwane, invited guests, and those joining us from various social media platforms, molweni. At the final sitting of the first democratically elected parliament on the 26th of March 1999, the founding father of our democracy, Utata Nelson Mandela, said, and I quote, "It is in the legislatures that the instruments have been fashioned to create a better life for all. It is here that oversight of government has been exercised. It is here that our society in all its formations has had an opportunity to influence policy and its implementation." Chairperson, the Portfolio Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development, established under Standing Rule 1422, is entrusted with the responsibility of exercising oversight over the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development and its public entity. The committee is tasked to ensure public participation in the proceedings of the legislature as guided by Section 118 of the Constitution and the resolutions of the House. The committee was able to discharge its duties under extremely difficult conditions. Whilst we were all excited that we had passed the devastating effects of COVID-19, our province experienced the worst floods exactly a year ago, which left a trail of destruction in the agricultural value chain and rural communities. Honorable Chairperson, KwaZulu-Natal is a major agricultural province with significant production of various products such as sugarcane, fruit, dairy, and poultry, to mention a few. These industries were not spared from damage by recent floods. Chairperson, during our oversight activities, we noted the efforts of the department to mitigate against the effects of the flood, especially to cushion some of the most vulnerable communities in our province. In addition to these activities, the committee scrutinized the annual performance plan and budget of the department using the tools of the public sector oversight model. The first draft of the APP and budget was presented to the committee and stakeholders at Amajuba district in December 2022. The final draft of the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development was tabled on the 28th of March 2023. The effects of the floods on rural communities and small-scale farmers were echoed by some of community members who attended our stakeholder engagements in Amajuba. For example, in Induna Ubaba Umlungisi Mbowane was Ward 9, told us how the heavy rains destroyed their 2 dams and also damaged a major district road, D495 Bakhlomuk. Throughout the engagements, people were crying out for assistance, especially with things like deep tanks irrigation equipment, animal handling facilities, boreholes, grazing camps, and dams. Honorable Chairperson, the report that I'm presenting here today provides an account of the Portfolio Committee's engagement with the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, as well as its entity ADA. Honorable Chairperson, the report provides an account of the Portfolio Committee's engagements with the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development and its public entity in considering the department's budget and APP. However, for the purposes of time, we are not going to read the entire report because it's too long. It's about 32 pages. It can be accessed, this report can be accessed from the institutional website as well as other relevant offices of the legislature. The APPs of both the department and ADA are aligned to all national and provincial priorities of the sixth administration. The department has 3 programs as outlined by the MEC, which it plans to implement over the MTEF. They have a program 1, which is called administration. This program provides corporate services and financial management to ensure effective and efficient support and governance of the organization. Program 2 of the department is meant to engage, empower, and transform farmers at all levels to participate in sustainable agricultural and environmental practices to realize economic development and food security in the province. The aim is to ensure food security, agrarian transformation, develop and promote the agricultural potential for improved economic growth, job creation, and sustainable natural resource conservation for improved agricultural production. Program 3 focuses on rural development. This program is meant to ensure the continuous improvement of sustainable rural livelihood through the coordination of integrated rural development services and facilitation of rural enterprise and industry development. The Rural Development Coordination Subcommittee aims to ensure that effective rural development coordination, monitoring, and evaluation structures are established across all 3 spheres of government. The program will spearhead several new initiatives, such as recruiting unemployed agricultural graduates in KwaZulu-Natal, establishment of agri-parks, nurseries, and seed banks, to mention a few. Honorable Chairperson, all political parties supported the budget allocation of 2.5 billion as presented by the MEC, except for the Democratic Alliance, which reserved its right to vote. I hope in the near future, the processes of the Democratic Alliance will be done before we conclude the report so that we can get their views, unlike what they are going to do here today to surprise us with matters that we never discussed in the committee. In conclusion, Honorable Chairperson, I wish to take this opportunity to thank the Honorable MEC, the former MEC, as well as all departmental officials led by the HOD for putting systems in place to deal with chronic management challenges in the department. We all know that in previous years, this department was not performing according to what is expected by the taxpayers as well as the legislature. But that is history now. Over the past 2 years, we have seen improvement in this department, and we applaud the role played by all those involved to change things around in the department. We hope that they will continue in this pattern. Benze kangcono ukudlula lokho abakwenzayo njengamanje. Lastly, Honorable Chairperson, I wish to thank the entire KZN legislature support team for the work that they continue to do in providing support to honorable members and the communities and stakeholders that we work with. And I also want to thank my fellow colleagues in the committee, ngokubambisana okukhulu esinakho ukusebenza, including members in the opposition. We are a family in the Committee of Agriculture. We really do not experience this bickering that you see when we are here. When we deal with matters that affect our communities, we all become sober and focus on the issue at hand. We really appreciate that, and I hope that we will continue doing that until we meet again after 2024 elections. Thank you, Honorable Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Sipidla. Next is Honorable S.W. Mshengu of the ANC for 15 minutes.
Is umntweni? Hey, wena Msimang. Honorable Chair, Honorable MEC Zuma Sbalwam, members of the executive led by the leader of government business, honorable members present, invited guests in the gallery, acting HOD and senior department officials present, Chair of ADA, Comrade Willis Mkuno, our former Premier, the entire farming community present, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning. The challenges of unemployment, poverty, and underdevelopment must challenge all of us to tirelessly find solutions to these challenges. Any efforts that exclude women, youth, and people with disabilities will never enjoy any support, especially from the African National Congress. Chair, when we dig dams, give out seeds, and other essential agricultural tools to our people, others will choose to unveil statues for the living. Indeed, our priorities will never be the same. The agricultural sector in KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa's second largest province by population, is growing at around 12% per annum, compared to single-digit growth in other provinces. It contributes around 3.8% of KwaZulu-Natal's gross domestic product. We confirm the centrality of this department in the fight against poverty and hunger, as guided by the Freedom Charter that correctly states, and I quote, "The state shall help the peasants with implements, seed, tractors, and dams to save the soil and assist the tillers." The African National Congress has long held the view, as reflected in this document, Ready to Govern, that says, and I quote, "Apartheid has shaped and distorted the economies of South Africa's rural areas in ways that seriously disadvantage black communities through unemployment and landlessness. It is therefore vital that a democratic state establish a rural development policy to redress these distortions and create opportunities that rural people through balanced and sustainable development." Close quote. Since 1992, Chairperson, when this document was published, the ANC-led government has sought to ensure rural development as an apex priority of government, and agriculture is positioned to drive socio-economic transformation of rural landscape by ensuring that these decent jobs and sustainable economic activities are realized. As we debate this budget vote, Honorable Chairperson, it is merited that we reflect on the journey that the sixth administration has traveled. In particular, looking at the performance of this department from 2019 to date, in order to have fuller appreciation of the achievements that have been recorded in the sector. Honorable members, the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development has a twin mandate: economic growth and social protection in terms of the food security. In 2019, the ANC manifesto prioritizes, or rather priorities included, transform the economy to serve the people and advance social transformation. The national planning frameworks, especially the National Development Plan, Vision 2030, the Medium-Term Strategic Framework, 2019-2024, and the Agriculture Policy Action Plan, have all similarly identified the agricultural sector as one of the key economic sectors to drive economic growth and be the key job driver in the country and in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. That is why the department has to ensure comprehensive farmer support, agricultural infrastructure development, mechanization, one home, one garden, extensive and advisory services, all to empower the farmer to support their development in the sector. It has to advance sector growth and development and ensure our people have sufficient food to feed themselves. Nowhere was the resilience of our food system, Chairperson, and food security demonstrated so sharply by during the COVID-19 period and when this province experienced social unrest as well as devastating floods. In all these instances, the food production and supply were not majorly disturbed. The major outlets continued to provide food to the market and people were able to buy food and still grow food. Government responded with food production vouchers to ensure that smallholder and subsistence farmers continued with food production. We need to enhance the capabilities that were tested and sharpened during these difficult periods to sustain food production. Today, Honorable MEC has outlined the continued measures and support the department is implementing to support food security, which includes the revival of the One Home, One Garden program, the mechanization program, multi-planting season program, and the other forms of agricultural support initiatives. This demonstrates consistency of the government programs, irrespective of who is the MEC at a particular time. The budget vote by MEC Ungabalala Usbalwami shows affinity to the National Development Plan's injunction that we know that those to whom we have given the privilege to govern our land do so on our behalf and for the benefit of all the people. The ANC-led government has its hands on the pulse and has clear appreciation that it is on the behalf of the masses of this country that this administration is able to exercise its mandate to govern and ensure service delivery. In this department, improved service delivery is what we have seen, and we can all attest to it. The achievements of this department, Honorable Chairperson, since the start of this current sixth administration term of office is worth reflection. In 2019, this department was in a shambolic state where issues of governance and maladministration were frequently reported. The department responded by setting out its priorities and developing clear outcomes, which included the following: effective and efficient corporate and financial support services, improved household food security in the province, improved farmer development for increased agricultural production, sector growth and inclusive rural economy, reduced outbreak cases of controlled and notifiable animal diseases, and increased research knowledge production, agricultural education and training. It is pleasing to see the progress that this department has made, Chairperson. Honorable members, I believe it is evident for all to see that the huge turnaround that has taken place in the Department of Agriculture from 2016 to 2018, this department was receiving qualified auditor general audit outcomes. However, as part of this turnaround, since 2019, honorable members, Honorable Msimanga, this department has achieved unqualified audit outcomes from the AG. Last year, the department went even higher by achieving its first clean audit in its history. This here is another example of a government at work. Again, we have received further positive news from this budget vote that the department has been able to spend all its budget for the financial year 22-23, including the conditional grants, which were a major area of under-expenditure in the past. The department's spending on this budget has improved significantly over the last few financial years, with under-expenditure reducing from 98.648 million in 2019-20 to 17.151 million in 2021 and 1.16 million in 2021-22. The department's service delivery performance has followed similar trends to budget performance. Since 2019-20, the department has moved overall 60% performance to 73% performance in 2020-2021 and 80% in 2021-2022 financial year. We hope this figure will even be higher when the department tables its annual report later this year. We can see the efforts of the department to unlock potential of underutilized agricultural land for food production and increase food production through the provision of mechanization support to indigent, vulnerable households and underprivileged communities. This contributes to reduction of food insecurity and poverty. Umsimanga ke ubuye athakathe la. Into zabantu che kujahwe yiphi. Honorable Chairperson, at the start of this term, this department undertook to develop its own necessary capacity in partnership with relevant institutions in order to fulfill the Executive Council resolution that the state must have capacity to produce its own seeds in order to expand opportunities within the agricultural value chain and save on procurement costs. Today, the MEC is reporting that the department has fulfilled this responsibility. Indeed, the department has established a fully functional NESAR, which is a positive development. Thank you very much to the leadership of this department. In the process, the program has created 105 jobs, as the MEC has alluded, especially the training of seed inspectors. Honorable Chairperson, is one highly welcomed intervention. This is an indication that government is serious about implementing priority 1 from the MTSF priorities of developing a capable ethical developmental state. Honorable Chairperson, we support the Agriculture and Agro-Processing Master Plan, in particular its commodity approach towards agricultural development. Focusing on commodities allow producers to gain better understanding of their production and growth within a specific value chain. We welcome the programs promoting red and white meat, horticulture, grain value chains, and the MEC has announced in this current budget. We further note and welcome the financial allocation of 376.659 million made on agricultural development programs. The department has demonstrated extensive foresight by increasing its focus on agricultural infrastructure with the communal investment programs. We believe this kind of interventions will allow for higher levels of agricultural productivity and profitability. Everywhere we have gone as a portfolio committee chairperson, farmers have been raising requests for deep tanks, boreholes, grazing camps, livestock dams, and fencing for their lands to protect animals and crops, to mention a few. We therefore welcome the initiative by the MEC and the support of the implementation in terms of the yellow plant. In its budget vote last year, the department had declared that it was the year of livestock because KwaZulu-Natal is one of the main livestock farming areas in South Africa, with extensive herds of beef and dairy cattle, flocks of wool and mutton sheep, and numbers of large piggeries. Livestock contributes immensely on the lives of rural people in different ways, such as use of traditional ceremonies, milk, meat, and as a source of income. In light of this, we are therefore excited with the livestock initiatives announced by the MEC, firstly to improve the genetics in communal breeding herd, we support the cattle breeding plan and merino sheep breeding initiatives. The department must unleash its veterinary machinery and expertise to ensure the success of these programs and mitigate against animal diseases, which have also become a serious threat to the country's livestock sector. Honorable Chair, as we conclude, our nation and the province have been through a wave of turbulence. Climate change remains the biggest threat in agricultural industry. Consistent supply of electricity will further enhance the growth of the sector, Chair. We believe there is a lot we can accomplish working together. Our resilience has been tested. We must offer maximum support support to our communities to ensure they thrive. Honorable Chair, for better or worse, we are in this together. We shall forever be on the side of the poor and the marginalized. The ANC support this budget vote. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Shengu. Ngiyacabanga ukuthi Honorable Hlomuku uzokulekelela ngale yenkomo nempondo. Angazi inkomo le. The next speaker on our list is Honorable Msimang of the IFP for 15 minutes. I'm sure he will behave.
Sihlalo ngithokoza kakhulu ucosha leli thuba lokuthi ngidebate namhlanje. Ngibingelele bonke abakhona nezimenyo. Angiqale ngokuthi siyakuthokozela ukuthi lo mnyango uthole umbiko ongenagcobo okokuqala empilweni yawo. Ngaphambi kokuthi ke ngiqale ngithule inkulumo yami emhlonishwa, angisho ukuthi unyaka weshumi lo ngiseva kuleli committee mhlonishwa Nxamalala. Ngakho kuningi okwenzeke ngikhona ngikubuka kwenzeka kulomnyango osuphathiswa wona. Odinga ke isibindi sokuthi ukwazi ukusiza impilo zabantu ngoba mawungenaso isibindi amasoniyo angeke ulunge kulomnyango ngoba la kunzima. Akambonge ke uMasithole Mloyi bekade uphethe uZamile Shem umntana abantu kulesi simo engikhuluma ngaso. Mhlonishwa Nxamalala, kwaba nembiko yenkohlakalo ethinta izimbewu ezenzeka kulomnyango ngikhona kusaphethe owamphathiswa uDokotela uMeshek Hadebe, may his soul rest in peace ngo-2012. Umbiko wawo waphothulwa ngo-2014 kanye nomunye umbiko wokudliwa kwemali yosomiso okufanele size kubalimi. Angazi noma umhlonishwa lo mbiko usawubona ningamehlo ngoba thina singawazi nje. Ngiyathokoza ke mhlonishwa ukuzwa nje uyihudula ukhulume ngeload shedding ngoba ukuthula ningakhulumi ngawo bebele abalimi belimala le load shedding kuyasilimaza. Angazi ukuthi ngabala ngithini ngoba kunobufakazi nje ukuthi load shedding ba affecta kangakanani abalimi lapha kwaZulu Natal. Kunomnumzane Allen Stanford ochitha ubisi olubalela ku-12,000 liters. Abanye bafelwa zinkungu zabo ngendaba ye load shedding. Ngakho nje ukuthi ukhulume ngayo noma singakuzwa ukuthi uthini kodwa nje ukuthi ukhulume ngayo kuyalinika ithemba ukuthi kukhona mhlawumbe engagcina nikwenzile ngayo. According to the data compiled by South African cane growers revealed that sugar industry is set to lose more than 700 million due to the load shedding as it affects 1,135 irrigated growers who employed more than 10,000 workers. The IFP call upon the MEC, mhlonishwa, ukuthi ningalishayazeli impela lolu daba lokuthi lulungiswe. Sikusho lokhu noma undunankulu ememezele kwisopha kusungula kwe-KZN Energy War Room kodwa alukho uhlelo olucacile oluqondene nabalimi. Ngivumelana nawe mhlonishwa ukuthi ziningi ikhalo umuntu aseyizwile zenziwa abalimi ngoba nami ngufakazi ukuthi we had calls from different farmers union calling for farmers to be exempted from load shedding, which the IFP support. We expect the KZN MEC of Agriculture and Revenue and the PRIM to ensure farmers that they are dealing with load shedding issues. Although load shedding is not, it has nothing to do with the Department of Agriculture or the Office of the PRIM, but the silence is a grave concern, really. Because agriculture is a backbone of economy and essential food security. Therefore, it is government duty to ensure that farmers receive the necessary assistance. Failure to act as a recipe for disaster if many farmers will be forced to cease their operations, which will in turn result to a hunger as well as retrenchment of workers. So we cannot afford to see more people being retrenched as the country already faces unreasonable high employment rate. Mhlonishwa, the IFP supported a budget of 2.5 billion budgeted allocated for the 2023 and 2024 financial year. The agriculture is an important part of KwaZulu-Natal economy. Productivity is an important measure of agriculture and industrial performance because, in the long run, it measures the efficiency of production. Productivity growth is an important mechanism for boosting profitability and maintain industrial competitiveness. Because abantu abaningi ngoba amathuba emisebenzi engekho nje bethembele kuzo ezolimo. Iqembu lekatha lindele kubona isabelo zimali sisiza abalimi kanye nabantu abanothando lokulima. Akusona isabelo zimali sokuthi selekelele iqembu elibusayo ukutheni linxenxa amavoti ngezinhloso zabo zokukhankasa ukuthakanisela ukhetho. Asilindele ukubona umlando uyiphinda kwabanye ongqongqoshe bake baba ngaphambi kwakhe bekwenza lokho. Abalimi abathole izimbewu zempela hayi nje icagogwana inkomishi kuthiwa izimbewu. Ngakho ke siyathemba mhlonishwa lokho ukuthi lokho sizokwenza. Lokho engikhulumayo is a truth engifisa ukuthi kubonakale kwenzeka bakithi ngoba kuyangehlula mina uzenza impigogo mangimi lapha sikhuluma ngezinto ezithinta impilo zabantu. The CASPA grant is aimed to enhance the capacity of the agriculture sector by providing support to the beneficiaries of land and agrarian reform program. We welcome the allocation of 230.6 million, but the IFP is concerned about the culture of underspending of CASPA grant, as the department occurred under expenditure of 49.663 million. In 2017 and 2018, 68.34 million, and in 2018 and 2019, due to the slow progress in the implementation of infrastructure project and delivered by agriculture input, further contributed to the lower expenditure. Kuyicala ungayisebenzisa imali eyabelwe umnyango ukuthi isiza abantu. Asilindele ukuthi imali ingasetshenziswe ekubeni abantu bedinga ukusizwa ukuze baxoshe ikati eziko. Mhlonishwa, the former MSc of Agriculture, now Deputy Speaker, Honorable Archie Mthembu, during budget speech in 2018, stated that during the 2017-2018 budget speech, there will be elevate the Directorate for Youth, Women and Persons with Disability into the directorate. Bangaki abantu abasha asebehlomlile kulolo hlelo. abantu abasha nabesifazane kanye nabantu abaphila ngokukhubazeka. Kubalulekile ukuthi bangene umkhono nesiphanga ukwakhweni kwezolimo. Mhlonishwa Nxamalala, iqembu lenkatha belimagange ukuzwa ukuthi bangaka abantu abaphila ngokukhubazeka kanye nentsha abaphethe amaplazi lapha kwaZulu Natal. Intsha igqugqulezelwe ukuba ingene kule mkhakha. The Department of Agriculture, put target. The Department of Agriculture is good in putting target, then failed to meet them. During 2022-23 under livestock program, 305 producers were supposed to be supported in the red mean value chain. Again, the annually target of 328. Further, during 2022-2023, the department stated that 3,609 grain producers assisted to cultivate 19,000 hectares of grain value chain by the end of the third quarter against the annual target of 22,310. 11 agricultural infrastructure projects were implemented against the annual target of 46, and 21 kilometers of fencing was erected against the annual target of 152.6 kilometers. Nakuwo lo nyaka umnyango ukhuluma ngokuthi kuzosizwa abakhiqizi bokusanhlamvu abangu 5,162, abakhiqizi benyama ebomvu abangu 278 kanye nokumbiwa okusamasimu. Kuyoba kuhle mhlonishwa lokho makuthi kuzokwenzeka. Ngoba kuyishwa ukuthi kuyashaqisa ukuthi namhlanje kusenabantu ababolwa indlala ekubeni kuhlale njalo kumenyezelwa izigidi zezimali. Ishonaphi kanti lo mali uma ingezukusiza labo bantu? Ngakho ke Nxamalala, imali zabantu lezi mfowethu sizobe sikubheke ngesolo khosi ukuthi zisebenza lokho kufaneleyo and ziya ebantwini ngendlela efaneleyo. Siyazi ukuthi siyokhethweni. Ngakho ke akungasetshenziswa le mali ukukhankasa, ayisetshenziswe le mali ukuthi isiza abantu ngendlela efaneleyo. Mhlonishwa, iqembu lenkatha likhathazekile ngokuntshontsho kwemfuyo. And okubonakala kuqhubeka kwenzeka ikakhulukazi uma kuyikhathi zamaholidi okhisimusi. Akugcini nje ngokulimaza abalimi kuphela, kodwa emakhaya igcina futhi iphehla nezimpi eziba khona ngoba akayikho nje indoda engavuma ukuthathelwa inkomo zayo enye indoda. Ngakho ke lokho kufanele sikuzama ngayo zonke indlela ukuthi yiluphi uhlelo olungakwenza esingasenza ukuthi sikuvimbe lokho. The IFP will support noma yini umnyango okwenzayo ukusiza ukuthi abantu bakithi uma kwenzeka ngendlela efaneleyo ukuthi ukwazi ukusizwa abantu bakithi. Engeke sikuvume ukuthi lo mnyango usetshenziselwe inkohlakalo. And uma ngeze ukukhohlisa uyobamba lo mnyango uyoyiqeda ithemu yakho uma ube nesibindi sokuthi ukwazi ukudila nezigila mkhuba. Abantu abantshontshayo kumnyango bakhishwe ngegede. Ngoba kade ngcoma nakulo khona ngufakazi ukuthi lo mnyango ubuphethe iziqhwaga lo yizo bokuzingqungqulesha amaphiko. Ngiyakhumbula nje kwenye indawo mhlonishwa, one of the officials yayilo mnyango yathi ayikho into esoyitshela thina uhlala ngaloso sikhathi kwakunomagugu Simelane Zulu. Eyathi hayi angizukuzwa ngani nina abantu baka 5 years. Kusho the head of the department okhombisa ukuthi inkohlakalo isebenze baze bamile umgogodla wakwebe imali zabantu uma batshela amaqiniso basitshela ukuthi sabantu kulungileke singabantu baka 5 years kodwa sothi sisekhona umuntu obephuma ngekade sokwenza show ngoba asikwazi ukuvumela. Ngakho ke uma mhlonishwa ungeze ukuba nomgogodla kulokho umenqo kwinkohlakalo uzoba ne problem. Ngakho ke ngaloma zamafishane IFP yayisupporta lelokhungana but at the same time will monitor ukuthi yenze ngendlela efaneleyo na ngoba abantu bakithi bafuna impilo engcono. Ngalo mazwi ke siyathokoza mhlonishwa, siyakubongela nawe ukuthi bakunike. Siyabonga mama Mloyi uzamile ntombazane kunzima, singofakazi balokho.
Thank you, Honorable Msimang. Next is Honorable H.S. Gumbi of DA.
Honorable Speaker, members and fellow citizens, agriculture in our province should be lifting many people out of poverty, increasing food security for our province and country, looking out for the interests of subsistence and commercial farmers, and being a gateway for growth and prosperity for many rural communities. Sadly, however, this is not the reality for most of our farming communities. So whilst I congratulate you, Honorable MEC, on your ascendancy to the cabinet, and I genuinely wish you the best because it's in the interests of the people of our province, unfortunately, as we all know, everything the ANC touches today is destined to fail. More likely because even before it has even kicked off, because the government already has the wrong ideological outlook. This ANC government has pursued the National Democratic Revolution to catastrophic effects in this department. This is evidenced when the government wrongly believes that it should own and operate farms instead of focusing on growing and protecting farmers and the agricultural industry to feed our citizens and ultimately create jobs. Over the past few years, the government has wasted millions trying to disprove what we all already know, that it is not the government's job to be running farms like Ntingwe Tea Farm. This ideology is so badly ingrained in government that it has infested it at every single level. Even eThekwini municipality was buying chicken farms and running chicken farms. In this budget, Ntingwe will receive a further 20 million rand transfer in this continued wastage, which does not improve the agricultural economy in KZN. Instead of running tea and chicken farms, the ANC government should be focused on dealing with the effects of load shedding to farmers. And I'm glad that there was mention of it within the speech, because little is spoken about how badly load shedding affects farming communities and contributing to increasing food prices. In the first quarter of this year, there was a 14% increase in food prices. This massive increase in food cost is placed on ordinary citizens who are already battling to stay afloat. A few weeks ago, I met one of the largest chicken farmers in the province who spoke about the heavy costs of diesel to run generators on the chicken farm. He had this to say: load shedding is destroying the business. Chicken prices have gone up because of the amount of diesel we have to burn to run our generators. We have done our best to keep prices low and not to lose any staff. We are worried, though, that we won't be able to survive much longer without something drastic happening. Can government not find ways to reduce the load shedding levels on our farms? Is there any way they can help? We are willing to do our bit. That coming from a farmer. If this department is serious about agriculture, what interventions have they made to assist these farmers to survive the ANC's power cuts? The truth is, they are nowhere to be seen. In fact, that 20 million rand which is being transferred to farms should be going to assisting farmers like those to be able to continue to produce food for this province. Madam Speaker, instead of partnering with commercial farmers to grow farming in rural communities, the ANC has focused on creating scapegoats out of them. For instance, this department and government do not take the issue of farm murder seriously. For the entirety of the previous term of the former MEC of Agriculture, who I'm glad is here, ignored every possible move from the DA and my colleague Alma Arabe to assist in developing a plan to address farm murders in the province and look after the department's most prized assets, which is the farmer. This at a time in 2022 where our province even had 333 farm attacks, and 50 of them were brutal and inhumane murders. The total dissemination of commercial farmers has resulted in many relocating abroad. There is ultimately nothing good when the people who feed the nation leave to go to other countries in sub-Saharan Africa or New Zealand or the United States to grow those economies and not to grow ours. This is an indictment on the ANC government. Shame on you. Perhaps and most importantly, we must hold the ANC accountable for the proliferation of infectious diseases in KZN. The lack of state vets and the resultant prevalence of diseases such as rabies, African horse sickness, bovine TB, and foot and mouth disease are threatening our agricultural sector and public health. In 2021, there were over 200 reported cases of rabies in KZN alone, with the number of unreported cases naturally expected to be even higher. Regarding foot and mouth disease, KZN remains the highest contributor in South Africa, with nearly a third of all cases coming from our province. And I'm glad the leader of the Taliban has arrived in the house, because he is a farmer himself and he has an interest in these matters. African horse disease is killing horses like flies in rural communities. They simply are dropping dead. A total of 204 black-owned horses are dead thus far in the province since the beginning of this year, 135 of which are in Amajuba alone. Now, if those horses are there and you have the Dundee July, how do you host events like that when horses are dropping dead? How do you create jobs under that kind of an environment? This crisis cannot be ignored any further, and this government has no ability to deal with them because it does not fit in its ideological framework. And even the talk of two vehicles, which are mobile vets, which are for mobile veterinary labs, is way insufficient for the kind of province that we have. Our province is massive. There's no way that those vehicles can go from the one side of the province to the other side of the province to deal with the many crises which are being faced with. So it's clear for everyone in South Africa and this province to see that the ANC is the outgoing government. Never before has public trust and shame in the ANC government been so low that even the ANC deputy speaker in this house, when interviewed on podcast Affirmation, spoke about how this department is a paradise for tenderpreneurs because it has long been rotten to its core. The deputy speaker of this house says that. So it falls to us, the incoming coalition government on this side of the house, to dismantle years of ANC corruption and mismanagement on this side of the house. First and foremost, we will prioritize the interests of our farmers and our agricultural sector. We will work with subsistence and commercial farmers to create a competitive and sustainable farming industry that benefits everyone. We will invest in infrastructure to ensure that our farmers have access to reliable water and electricity. And we will work to do everything we can to stop the attacks on farmers. This commitment is evidenced in our fight to protect beneficiaries of government reform programs, black farmers who are beneficiaries of state reform programs in the Kokstad area. Their farms were under a clearly coordinated attack by land invasion, with dodgy ANC and state officials seeking to grab land and threaten the livelihoods and progress of their farms. The DA not only exposed the invasion for what it is, but has held multiple public meetings in the area and pressurized the municipality to enforce a court order to stop the invasion. We are pleased that working together with the farming community, we have restored law and order in the area, and the farmers can get on with doing their jobs safely and securely, and that is to farm and produce food for our province. Mr. Speaker, Statistics South Africa published that the agricultural sector shrank by its largest contraction of 3.3% in the last quarter of 2022. This decline was due to the ongoing load shedding crisis, which forced farmers to operate at reduced capacity, lower yields, and higher costs. The incoming government in the province, including every municipality the DA controls and can influence, will move towards energy independence and break the stranglehold that Eskom has on our economy. Our municipalities are fast moving in this direction, and we will not stop until we have a secure and stable energy supply for our economy. Finally, the incoming government will make significant investments in state vets and increase cooperation with NGOs, non-profits, and pharmaceuticals to address the spread of infectious disease in our agricultural sector. It is criminal of the government to have numerous reported cases without any urgent response to the rabies crisis, knowing very well that it kills. Shame on you. In conclusion, the Democratic Alliance believes that it is time for a new approach in agriculture, which prioritizes the interests of our farmers and our agricultural sector. We must work to create a more competitive, sustainable, and resilient farming industry. And in 2024, our coalition government intends to do exactly that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Gumbi. We have received an apology from Honorable H.P. Kiliza of the AFF. We have also received an apology on Honorable C.M. Shinga of the NFP. We have also received an apology of Honorable S. Thakur Rashbansi of the MF. And we have also received an apology of Honorable M.E. Pagati of the ATM. Therefore, we will move to Honorable S.G.S. Mavimbela of the ANC for 10 minutes.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson of the session. Greetings to the entire leadership of the African National Congress on the right-hand side in this chamber. Greetings to honorable members. Greetings to all those that are viewing us on visual platforms and those that are in the gallery and also the department on my right. Honorable Chairperson, we rise bearing the black, green and gold flag of the most progressive liberation movement in Africa, the African National Congress, to support this very progressive budget of the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development. Ngiyafisa ke sihlalo walomhlangano ukuthi ngingakaqali ukuqhubeka kakhulu nenkulumo yami ngicacise izinto ezimbili ezintathu ikakhulukazi kumbimbi lwalabo abazikhohlisayo ngoba kuba amahashi ayezifiso ngabe sonke siyagibela ukuthi ngo2024 bazobe behleli kwa right walendlu abahluleka nokuthi bakufihle. Honorable Msimango akakhalela abantu bakithi abasafarishayo ngenxa ye load shedding kodwa ukhalela unqiwa uze wakhotha uAlan Stratford waseMoy River. Kunabantu bakithi abaqhukuluzayo abasazamayo ekuthenini balime ngenxa yalolumbimbi abaluzamayo. Angimangali ke njengoba kade emilela umhlonishwa uGumbi. Angimangali ke njengoba kade emilela umhlonishwa uGumbi naye eyikhohlisa ngokuthi umbimbi lwabo luzokwenza ukuthi basebenze ndawonye.
Uxolo, Honorable Mavimbela. Ngizocela abakwi gallery. You're not allowed to participate. Thank you.
I believe ukuthi abantu bakithi bayezwa futhi balalele ukuthi uma bengase baluvumele lolumbimbi lube khona la esifundazweni sakithi kwaZulu Natal kuyoqhubeka kulekelelwe labo abantshontsha umhlaba wethu njengoba singenamhlaba nje ukuze siqhubeke thina sihlupheke silime emangelengeleni intaba nasematsheni. Ngiyafisa ke ukucacisa one thing, Honorable Gumbi, because some of the things you do not understand. When you talk about the safety in our province, there is a rural safety strategy that is coordinated at the cabinet level. So if you do not understand that, please ask your farmers association, which are part of that farmer safety strategy, that are working together with the province of KwaZulu-Natal in making sure that the farmers in our province are saved. Ngoba nanoma ubani thina sifuna ahlale la endaweni yakithi ephephile futhi evikelekile. Akukho namunye esifisa ukuthi engavikeleki. Ngiyafisa ke ukuqhubeka ngithi kulomnyango yila khona kuthwelwe ithemba kanye nokulangazelela kwabantu balesi sifundazwe sakithi uqinisekisa ukuthi akekho umuntu olala engadlile. Sonke siyaqonda ukuthi akekho umuntu ongakwazi ukuphila ngaphandle kokudla. Yingakho ke kusijabulisa kusithobisa kakhulu unxamalala ukuzwa izinhlelo zomnyango ezinhle kangaka ozanazo uqinisekisa ukuthi ezinye zezinto ezikhona lapha yakumqulu yamalungelo abantu kunye nomthetho sisekelo ziyafezekiswa okuyikhona okuyisisekelo sethu as we provide ama services kubantu bakithi. Provision of food, water and shelter is one of the fundamental elements in our Bill of Rights of South African Constitution. We are pleased that the department has provided a budget that outlines comprehensive support to farmers in KwaZulu-Natal to support food production, ensure food and nutrition security for all. We are encouraged that this budget is not only focused on crop and horticulture production, but it also pays attention to the great needs of livestock industry development and ensuring effective control of animal diseases through veterinary support. KwaZulu-Natal is one of the main livestock farming areas in South Africa, with extensive herd of beef and dairy cattle, flocks of wool and mutton sheep, and numbers of large piggeries. Goats are largely confined to communal farming areas and do not form a major part of formal commercial livestock production in this province. Livestock contributes immensely on the lives of rural people in different ways, such as use in traditional ceremonies, meat, milk, and source of income. Abanye bethu bafundiswa yiyo. The province has a total of 6.5 million hectares of land of farming purposes, of which 82% is suitable for extensive livestock production and 18% is arable land. The estimated number of cattle in the communal areas of KwaZulu-Natal is 2,900,000. However, we have learned that most of these animals are not in a good condition to realize good prices in most markets. There are many reasons for the apparently poor performance of livestock farmers under the communal areas of the province. The challenges that are facing livestock farmers in communal areas include livestock losses through stock theft and predation, high mortality rates, and due to animal diseases and parasites that are externally and those that are internally, and the distorted distribution of veterinary services as well as uneven access to animal health care. It is clear that the department has to develop appropriate programs to ensure that communal farmers, rural abattoir owners, and township entrepreneurs assess the full spectrum of veterinary diagnostic and veterinary public health service. There must be full compliance to the Meat Safety Act. It is appreciating this challenging and reality that We, therefore, warmly welcome the announcement by the Honorable MEC Ungamalala Maphume Phethe that they are unveiling a program to improve the genetic of the communal breeding herd. Nimzwile ecacisa. This program, we have been assured, will allow selected breeding cows, including small stock, which is sheep and goats, to be distributed to communal farmers to enable their herd to benefit from improved genetics. In turn, this will ensure that quality of the communal herd becomes attractive in the commercial trade, allowing most of our rural farmers to earn high revenues in auction sales and supplying industry markets. Ngoba ukhalela abahambayo nje abawelela ngaphesheya somkhandi babuyela lapha baqhamuka khona thina ngoba sinalo elinye ikhaya ingakho kufanele eqinisekise ukuthi imfuyo yethu isezingeni lokuthi ibe attractive. This is another clear example of the ANC government commitment to improving rural economy and creating expanded opportunities for sustainable livestock, allowing the people in deep rural areas, njengathi thina esiqhamuka le komahashahasheni komkhanyakude, to also participate in meaningful and agricultural development. Through agriculture, we will develop rural areas. Honorable Chairperson and members, we have also heard the MEC announce that the department will be establishing animal feed manufacturing facilities to support livestock farmers. We heard in this budget speech that the department invested 76 million in the financial year to fund 28 livestock value chain project. This is an important commodity within agriculture. The program is supported by scientists and experts that are within the department, showing capability of the state, and it will be done at the department research stations. Ngoba phela sizukuthatha abantu abangawazi umsebenzi sibanikeze umsebenzi. It is particularly pleasing that the department is also looking at mobile veterinary clinics. Ukuthi mabili kuyaqalwa bese kuyaqhutshekwa ngakho asizukusho ukuthi Nxamalala ungaqali ngokuncane bese uyaqhubeka ngoba thina siyakubona ukuthi kuzosilekelela kanjani. Ngoba lokho kwenzayo Nxamalala uqinisekisa ukuthi imigomo kaAfrican National Congress eqinisekiseni ukuthi you implement the livestock strategy which is outlined by yourself when we are presenting your budget speech here to create viable livestock production system and also commercialize livestock production in rural
Siyabonga.
communities. ANC
Siyabonga.
fully support this budget speech.
Siyabonga
Thank you.
Honorable Vimbela. Olandelayo will be Honorable MPP Zungu, ka ANC, 9 minutes, was Nyamagaish.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Ngithathele lithuba ngihloniphe ngibingelele indlu yonke zihambeli zethu ezisijoyine khona la kanjalo nalabo abasijoyina einkundleni zokuxhumana. It's my humble greetings to the House Chair, and thank you for the opportunity given to me to represent the Liberation Movement, ANC, in today's debate, as I will focus on the impact of conditional grant in improving food security and eradicating poverty. But Chair, allow me first to qondisa lapha kancane ku-Honorable Ogumbi. Ngizoqondisa kancane ngoba ngiyibonile ukuthi while the MEC was presenting the report, the budget report, ubenganakile neze. Ngaphandle nje kokuthi ke akanasikhathi esingakanani ngicabanga ukuthi okuningi akhuluma ngakho into ezwabethi. Ngibone ngoba ekhotha into eyashiwo u-Deputy Speaker kudala esaw MEC. So ke Chair, ngifisa ukubeka kucacela ukuthi kwinto yentingwe ayilona iqiniso into eshiwo umhlonishwa uGumbi ukhotha 20 million for this year. The correct amount is 7 million. Ngokwe budget split etulo MSC. Bese ngiphinde futhi ngicacisa lena yokuthi siyahluleka njengohulumeni ukusiza abamahashi. What is the fact is that the government is already working with the equine, that's horse industry, to solve the vaccine shortage through building appropriate structures, infrastructure. So bengifisa nje ukuthi ngiqale lapho before ngingene kweyami inkulumo. Honorable Chair, allow me to welcome and support the budget presented before the House. One is wondering who in the right minds would not appreciate something that talks exactly to what our people need, especially in rural areas. Sikhuluma ke ngoba siyazi ukuthi abantu bethu abasemakhaya kade bacindezelwa. Ngisho nanenhlelo ezakuqala zahulumeni ubandlululo bengabafaki. Ingakho kwaze kwaba nokuhlaliswa kwabantu ngokwehlukana. This is evident in numerous projects that have assisted people across the district. There is a creation of jobs and ultimately eradication of poverty. In Amajuba, Impilwenye Beef Project was supported in 2019 to 2023 with a budget of 4.2 million for a supply of livestock and farming equipment, while in 2021 to 23 financial years, as a cattle product, CC Beef Project benefited 14.8 million for both livestock and infrastructure. Izinto ke lezi nje uyibonayo ukuthi uma ukhuluma ama-million ukhuluma ngegidi awubala ama-cent. In King Cetshwayo, the Isigawuli Layers project received assistance of 3.1 million. It's a budget for infrastructure development. And in the year 2019 to 2021, Ifakazi Kantanzi Layers Youth Project received nayo imali ebalelwa ku 2.8 million for infrastructure developments, input and equipment. Honorable Chair, Ikopsek Farm Project in Herigwala also in financial years 2019 to 23 was assisted with a budget of 2.8 million for infrastructure development. YKPP Pty Ltd, which is a piggery that is owned by female, was supported in the years 2021 and 23 with 9.5 million for the expansion of the project and development of infrastructure. How can I forget the Zululand District Profound Channels project, which in 2021 to 23 financial years was also supported with a budget of 3.1 million for construction of infrastructure development, production inputs, and equipment. While we appreciate this, Honorable Chair, we hope and we know ukuthi umnyango Hlonishwa uNxamalala uzosiza ukuthi lwanabele endaweni zonke noma kuma district wonke lolu hlelo olusiza abalimi. Ngikusho lokhu ngoba uma ngabe ungaya kwamanye ama district like kuyilembe uzoba nabo abantu abathanda kakhulu ukuthi balime. Ubabona ngani if it's a youngster efundayo e-university ithatha leyo madlana encane ethola ngoka NSFAS uyibona iyandisa leyo mali ngokuthi ibuyisele emhlabathini itshale eqeshini ehloko. Lo ngikhuluma ngaye umfana nje omncane kakhulu wakwamhlongo olapha eMandeni ku Ward 12 phansi kwaKhansela uMkhaliphi uNhlanhla wakwamhlongo. Kanti mawuyendwedwe bakhona odadewethu lapha uMazondi oMalindi naye wenza into efanayo. Akaxhaswe nothi azaxhaswa ubona uthando lwakho. So ke inhlelo zalolu hlobo siyayimukela futhi siyazi ukuthi zizosabalala ziseyifika yonke indawo. Kuthiwa ke neRoma kaze yakhiwe ngelanga elilodwa. The KwaZulu-Natal Department of Agriculture and Rural Development implements farmer support programs through utilization of conditional grant from National Department of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development. These grants are categorized like njengalana ngizobalula. It's a comprehensive agricultural support program ebizwa CASP, iLima, Litsima conditional grant, Land Care Program conditional grant, and EPWP incentive grant. The conditional grants that I have mentioned are aimed at providing effective agricultural support service in the province, promote and facilitate agricultural development by targeting beneficiaries in communal land reform, restitution, and redistribution beneficiaries as well as other black producers who have acquired land through private means and are engaged in value-adding enterprise, whether locally or involved in export. Honorable Chair, the conditional grant also contributes immensely towards the achievement of the provincial agricultural priorities, which have been aligned to the national priorities and contributing towards the implementation of the development objectives, mainly achieving the increased food production, which in turn contributes to improved food security in a way responding to the issue of unemployment and poverty eradication in rural communities, subsequently expanding the agricultural economy. House Chair, I wish to draw to the attention of this House on how the conditional grant expenditure has been improved over the past 3 years. In the last financial year, that's 2022 and 23, the department made a history by achieving 100% expenditure on conditional grants for the first time, which I think deserves a round of applause. Through the CARS program, the department has contributed to widen access to agricultural support for smallholder and commercial farmers. Moreover, the department has immensely invested in rural infrastructure to stimulate and sustain agricultural production and rural economic activities. Chair, umbuzo okhona omile, ngingebala ziningi kakhulu izinto i-department ezenzile. Even on food nutrition security program where 91.5 million was spent to establish ama gardens. Njengoba sikhuluma futhi sisayimele i-program esayiqala ka-one home one garden endaweni ecishe amalokishi no 1 home 1 hectare endaweni esemakhaya. Izinto la ngikubala amamiliyoni ngibala izigidi that the government has invested ukuthuthukisa impilo zabantu bethu basemzansi. Umbuzo kumile uthi ubani ongathi esezingqondweni zakhe ezikahle aphikisane nentuthuko eyenziwa uhulumeni we-ANC. U-ANC uyaphila, u-ANC uyahola. Amandla.
Thank you, Honorable Zungu. Next will be ACDP, Honorable S.E. Mangele, for 3 minutes. Engathi umfundisi ubeselibele.
Hello, I greet you and all ministers and all colleagues as well. We wish to commend the work done in some areas where we have seen subsistence farmers for food security purposes being assisted with implements, vegetable seed, fertilizer, and dryland crops. The issue of one home, one garden is very good. But we have to measure the practicality of it in places where there is no water. We are glad that the minister hinted the issue of small dams, and we are happy about that. Eloqala ngongoshe lo fanele bese nkodibe lapha ngakimi emntubatu. And again, we wish to see the number of people assisted in this regard. The issue of horticultural and livestock program should be promoted, as we have said, and assisted. This will also lead them to bring small entrepreneurs in future. Again, MEC, this should be spread across the board. More people should be assisted with fencing on their garden for protection against loose animals. Lapha emakhaya noma ngabe siyathanda ukwenza umsebenzi kodwa ilwane zingena iphume emasimini ethu amandla okubiyeka kasinawo. We also wish to commend the department for fighting food and mouth diseases, especially in our area, Mukanyagute area. In future, we need to have a standing program for this in order to prevent rather than always defending. Siyajabula ukuthi nalokho mhlonishwa ukuthintile enkulumeni yakho. Lastly, the issue of the disaster to the farmers, we need to have a clear picture and a clear plan about that. Ngoba abalimi bafaka bili bafike bebulawe ikhukhula phele konke ngokwabo uthola ukuthi futhi at the same time abanayo iprogram ecacile yokuthi ibalekelele. Uma singase sinake leyo mhlonishwa kuyosiza kakhulu. God bless you. Ukhule njalo ngiyayibusisa department yakho egameni lika Jesu.
Amen, Mfundisi. Next will be Honorable J.S. Numalo, our Chief Whip of the ANC, for 8 minutes. Mkhacho.
Usihlalo noma ngangipha nje uchatha ngoba baningi abaxolisile namhlanje isikhathi sabo bakwethu awu ningiphe sona ukuze ngimele ukhongolosa. Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson Xabashe. Greetings to our Honorable Premier in absentia, Unzwakele. And let me also extend my greetings to Honorable MEC, leader of government business, Mtombeni, MEC Shlomoga, MEC Dr. Mahlaba, and MEC Ngamalala. Let me also greet our former Premier, Ubaba Umacingwana Ndabezitha. Greetings to honorable members and members of the Portfolio Committee, our distinguished guest, Amakhosi asendlunkulu, izinduna, nazo zonke imenywa ekhona namhlanje zika MEC uNcamalala. Protocol is observed. Good afternoon. Ngibingelele kodwa eShodi sibalukhulu nethimba lakho. Honorable Chairperson, April indeed is a month of great significance for our country as we celebrate our freedom and democracy ushered in by the first non-racial democratic elections held on the 27th of April, 1994. It marked the dawn of a new era where the rights and dignity of all our people is paramount, including the right to food and water, as it is enshrined in our Constitution. Chairperson, the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic alone denied many South Africans their right to adequate food, as it is enshrined in our Constitution, and undermined the efforts that have been made to meet the NDP and the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, of zero hunger by 2030. According to the Human Rights Organization research report, the Black Sash, I quote 2030, according to the Human Rights research report, Black Sash, Northern Cape and KwaZulu-Natal had the highest proportion of households that experience hunger. According to the report, more than half of the households with are young children that experience hunger in urban and rural areas. Ngifuna ke ukuvumelana nabahlonishwa abakhulumile la ukuthi Honorable MEC Ncamalala, siyawubonga kakhulu umsebenzi wakho owenzayo ngoba lo mnyango wezolimo ungumgogodla wabantu bakwaZulu Natal ukuthi bakwazi ukuthola ukudla. Kanjalo futhi sikwazi ukuthi sikhiqize nokudla okwanele ukuze sandise sikhulise futhi nomnotho wabantu bakithi. Kodwa ke kukhona engifisa ukuba ngikusho kancane ngisaqhubeka lenkulumo yami lapha ku Mhlonishwa uMsimanga. Ukuthi cha Mhlonishwa Thabizolo akusilona iqiniso ukuthi akaze kwenzeke lutho mayelana nenkohlakalo ethinta lomnyango. Mawulandela kahle ama report azokutshela ukuthi yebo inkohlakalo yenzekile eminyakeni edlule kodwa bakhona abasebenzi abathathelwe inyathelo. Abanye basuspendwa, abanye baxoshwa, abanye babekwa amacala. And ngibona ukuthi ke mina ke akusilona iqiniso ukuthi sizosho into engelona iqiniso. Ngaba ukuthi nje mhlawumbe ke bakhona ababa nenhlanhla bona abangakwazanga ukuthi batholakale ngezathu ke mhlambe ke ezithize noma zokushoda kobufakazi. Kodwa ke zikhona inyathelo ezathathwa ngoba thina njenge African National Congress asihambisani nenkohlakalo siyalwisana futhi nenkohlakalo. Very clear. And sizokusupporta ke MEC Nxamalala emsebenzini wakho. Njoba eshilo umhlonishwa umshengu ukuthi siyakujabulela ukuthi kulomnyango ukwazile ukuba uthole i-clean audit. Lokho okuyindaba ezinhle kakhulu. Kodwa futhi besifisa ukuthi sibalule kumakhosi akithi aseNdlunkulu ukuthi siyacela bondaba ezithu kuba nisilekelele. Ngoba abantu bakithi endaweni zasemakhaya bathembele kumhlaba ongaphansi kwamakhosi. Ukuthi ingapheli indawo yokulima noma amasimu noma ingadi la abantu bakithi abakwazi khona ukuthi balime bathole ukudla ukuze bakwazi ukuxosha indlala. Siyazi njengamanje ukuthi baningi abantu abakhe emakhaya ngenxa ukuthi indawo ayisekho. Kodwa lokho kungasho ukuthi kuqede indawo yokuthi abantu balime nanokuthi abantu babe nendawo zokukhaphela imfuyo yabo inkomo nezimbuzi. Ngoba siyazi ukuthi kulaba bakandlebe zikhanyilanga abangaphesheya lapho baba umhlonishwa uRogers kuze kube namhlanje after 29 years sathola inkululeko abafuni nomhlaba. Honorable Chairperson, this department has sought to ensure its program that makes a meaningful contribution towards achievement on our 7 key priorities, which include structured agricultural education and training, research and technology development, veterinary services, that all contribute and align to priority 3 of education, skills and health. And research in agriculture is inextricably linked with agricultural and food security growth, and as well as the department influence in this sector is important. The development focus areas for this research include the following: conservation of indigenous livestock to ensure availability of suitable breeds that can withstand climate change and global warming. Promote feedlot of beef cattle within our communities. Conduct training and awareness on mitigation against climate change. Develop biosource plans to promote efficient use of agricultural resources to ensure sustainability, and conduct research on latest technologies of producing mushrooms economically, and so on. Having said that, Program Director, njengabantu bakwaZulu Natal, Mhlonishwa Nxamalala, Ngqongqoshe, sizoqhubeka sikusupporte ukwenza isiqiniseko sokuthi abantu bakithi balala bedlile bakwazi futhi kuba bathole ukudla okwanele. Mningi umsebenzi owenzile ufikile nje siyawubona. Sibonge futhi nomhlonishwa kade ekhona uMEC ubonge Sithole Mloyi njengoba uqhubeka nomsebenzi wakhe. Therefore as ANC we support the budget. Siyabonga.
Thank you, Kachwa. Our next speaker will be our MEC, Honorable Nxamalala, for 20 minutes. Nxamalala, amandla njengamanje akimi, ngikunika u-20 minutes. Qhuba Nxamalala.
Yawonga, thank you very much, Chairperson. Let's welcome a debate by honorable members. Maybe let me start with appreciating a debate. But a debate mangibuka ngathi hlukene kabili. Kunalabo abayifundile nabayilalelile ngikhuluma. Kodwa kunalabo azangaza ngabayifundi abangalalelanga futhi ngikhuluma. So ngizozama ukuhlukanisa ke lapho mangiphendula. Okokuqala ngizoqala ngama members engibona ukuthi ayilalelile inkulumo, that's why ekwazi ukufaka nama suggestions of which siwawelcomeayo. Swabonga kakhulu. Asikho isidingo ukuthi ngiphendule kubona ngoba bebekhuluma lento ebengiyikhuluma and bafaka ama suggestions esiwathathile as a department. Lawo members engiwabongayo kakhulu umhlonishwa uMshengu, umhlonishwa uMavimbela, umhlonishwa uZungu, nomhlonishwa uNxumbali, uChief Whip wale legislature. Then let me try and respond to my members, but also I must appreciate umhlonishwa uManqele. Kuya community ulalelile ngenkathi ngikhuluma, and my suggestions are lethayo uManqele. Let me start with you, Honorable Manqele. Yeah, siwathakasela kakhulu nakwesi-encourage kakhulu One Home One Garden program esithi izosiza ekutheni silwe nobuphofu obukhona ezweni. Itarget nje ukuthi angabikho umuntu ozothi unendawo kodwa akatshali. Sizofika even yazi uBishop ukuthi unebandla. So cela nje uthi ebandleni lakho usibekele eceleni nje umhlaba. So wazi ukuthi sifike siutshale ngoba siyazi imfundiso ukuthi abanye babazalwane bake baphuma emakhaya beshiye ingane zabo zingadlile. Kwabona bengadlile kodwa bezosontweni bafike bakhiphe okuncane kumfundisi. Sifuna ukuthi ke lo mama ophuma engadlile ekhaya athi mefike esontweni athole izwi esontweni kodwa bese ephuma athi imfundisi ingane zamadlile awungithi nqampula imfino lapho iloko esifuna ukuthi sikwenzekeke. Siyabonga kakhulu lo program. Sizwile nale yamadamu sizowagubha kakhulu. Abantu bakithi banenkinga. Imfuyo abazi izophuza kuphi. Kade silapha kaNongoma siyogubha idamu khona. Okwamangalisa sathi sibhizi ligujwa idamu zazingene inkomo sezibona amanzi ziphuze emanzini. Okukhombisa ukuthi bezwasole kangakanani amanzi. Uthi omunye ubaba Nxamalala uyazi ngendlela osisize ngayo ngoba bakhelene nesiqingi lapha. Uthi inkomo zethu ziphelile ezinye zidliwe sizibhekile inkomo zethu ngoba zithi ziyophuza amanzi zifike zibanjwa amabhubesi idla inkomo ibhekile. Kodwa akekho ade ecabanga ukuthi funa laba abantu basekwaNongoma bakhele yomadamu. Sifike salakha idamu within 3 weeks bese siliqedile ngenxa yale plant esinayo ngaphakathi. Sizofisa ukuthi mhlonishwa usitshele ukuthi kuphi nomuntu batuba khona sizoza sizoligubha lelo damu. Sayizwa lo yokufensa kwendawo zasemakhaya. Enye izinto engiyikhulumile la ukuthi uma senze kahle le system yokufensa indawo zasemakhaya izosisiza entweni ezimbili. Okokuqala ukuthi sizoba nama camps emfuyo, but esibili siwutene asizophinda siloku sifunwa ucingo siuhulumeni kanti ngoba yikho inkomo ezobe siyodla emasimini ofuna ukutshala uzobe enkosini afika athola indawo yokutshala bese kwazi ukutshala. So izosilekelela lapho ke le nto sizozama noma ama resources mhlambe engeke asifike senze ukuthi sifike nyelele nobe kuphi kodwa sizozama kakhulu ukuthi siyikhuphule iplan ukuthi singaloku senza izidagogada ze-fencing. Sazi masifike endaweni yenkosi siyifensa endaweni yenkosi senza ama-camps sishiye inkosi inama-camps abantu abafuyi banendawo yokuthi bafuyele khona kukhuphule nendlela inkomo ezikhuluphala ngayo ngani kuba inkomo emazidla yonke indawo zidla no plastic azikhuluphali lezo nkomo. Ingasithi sifuna ukushintsha isimo seendawo zasemakhaya so that bakwazi ukuthi mabefuya bafuye as if bafuye eplazini lomuntu umntwana. Mhlambe kangiqale ngomhlonishwa ngifuna ukugcina ngomhlonishwa uGumbi ngoba akekho ngifuna ukuthi ngikhulume naye sifikile. Kodwa mengafikanga ngizokhuluma nabantu bakwaZulu Natal abamisleadayo. Mhlonishwa umsimang. Asibonge manje inkinga yakho uyancoma ubuye uphike. Mhlambe before ngiye kwena mhlonishwa uMncwango, there is a point umhlonishwa uMshengo aliraisile of fish asilibonge silithatha njengoba linjalo le loku improve i-department i-APP performance department. Sizoyisebenza ngaphakathi sikwazi ukuthi si responde kule as usho mhlonishwa uMshengo. I think leyo point afuna siyishiye nje singa for the record singayiphendulanga kuyo. Mhlonishwa uMsimang. Inkinga yami enginayo ngezinye zezinto zireza. Yoqala issue oyirezayo issue ye report okhuluma ngayo yama allegations. Ngifika ku department nginikezwe wonke ama reports. Ngiwazi wonke ukuthi akusiphi stage. Kodwa esingakusho ukuthi amaningi lama reports asafinalize adluliselwa kuma state agencies amaningi ama case asephelile because kwaba nama outcomes abanawo. Amanye akemaphoyiseni amanye alindele ukuthi ku prosecute abanga prosecute amanye abanye baboshwe. So manje ke socela nje bahlonishwa ukuthi singajajwa ngekade kwenzeka ngesikhathi esedlule. Ake sijajwe ukuthi senzani manje. I-department silithenile ikhona sonke siyavuma lokho. I-department ibikade underspend kodwa i-report yakhombisa ukuthi sishaya 100% spending both expenditure as well as grants. Akekho ngiseza ukuthi uya-appreciate kahle ngalapho kodwa mhlawumbe ngelanga sokwazi uku-appreciatewa uma kwenziwa kahle ngalokho kwagxekwa nje njalo. Enye oyireizayo umhlonishwa ilena ekhuluma ngokuntshontsha kwezinkomo. Yes, sizoba sinehlelo esinalo esizama ukuthi silokhuze silihlanganise ngokuntshontsha kwenkomo. Mhlambe awuzophela nje inyanga singalokhuzanga singalichazanga lelo hlelo nawe uyoluzwa mase silichaza ngoba liyinkinga liyiconcern kakhulu. Kodwa enye sizama ukuthi siyenze ukuthi i-department isebenze namaphoyisa ekutheni kube nezivimba mgwaqo. Okwesibili ukuthi kwenziwe ukuthi sibe ne-branding ezoba ngokwe district so that kuzokwazi ukuthi misuka ku district yaseZululand iya othukela iyaphi lenkomo ngoba i-branding yakhona yaseZululand so that sikwazi ukuzi-identifya inkomo so that sizozimonitor ukuhamba kwazo. So that I think sobe sidile kahle nale yomntshontsho ngenkomo uma senze njalo. Esibili oyireizayo umhlonishwa wami ile ye support kuma females kwi youth and people with disability. Go 2021-22 financial year i-youth yakithi esayikwazi ukuyisiza yaba senza ama project awu 166. That was 2021-22. Abesifazane esabasiza 328. Then people with disability, about 62. These are my figures. Then go 2022. Females go 396. What youth are 214. People with disabilities about 47. My figures clear. Ube wabuze portfolio committee besokunikeza leyo. Kodwa usisizile khona nabantu bonke bezokwazi ukuthi na into esiyenzayo si department. Then kukhona la umhlonishwa ezidokhuza khona. We issue a load shedding. Angazi ukuthi umuthi awungizwe thini. Usho ukuthini? I-report clear. Ithi report sizosebenzisana nomhlonishwa uThokodidiza. Endeni ayishoyo ukuthi bonke abalimi abakhahlanyezwe ilento load shedding babe exempted ku load shedding. Clear report ikhona lapho kwena. So angazi uthena ngoba ama stakeholders ayakwazi lokho sixoxele nawo baya appreciate lokho ayazi ukuthi lana ama initiatives esiwenzayo siku government. Yes. Angizongena kakhulu bengithi mhlawumbe uzothi ungena kakhulu kwipolitiki hayi bengizongena nami. Ngizokureserve ke ngoba awu reserveile nawo ubungize nje lembuzo ngiphendula lembuzo ibuziwe. Umhlonishwa uGumbi. Umhlonishwa uGumbi sifuna ukuqala ngokureporta ukuthi ukhale nge-issue ye vaccination. Now kune structure esikhona esa government. Kunabantu abadila nama vaccination is association NCEO yakhona. Uma ungabona le ncwadi mina enginayo from that CEO ungeke uyikhulume lento okhuluma ngayo. Kodwa sizokulekelela sikusize sikunikeze leyo ncwadi so that ungomthinta nje CEO akutshela ukuthi i-government uprogress kanjani inteni ye vaccination. Ngizoyishiya nje lapho ngingakhulumi kakhulu kuyona. Now kwenye oyiraizayo umhlonishwa uGumbi ile issue yase Intingwe. Asizuyithatha nje nobe kanjani leyo issue because sidila nabasebenzi lapha and uma ubuka uyilalele kahle report eshoyo ukuthi sebe nemarket engakanani. If sit ngo maqala uMay sizokwazi ukuthi itiyele lesilenzayo lapha eNtingwe sisupply izibhedlela ezu 27 la KwaZulu Natal. Enye into leyo uma ucabanga indaba employment ucabanga ispace ezongena kuyona in terms of economic growth linama challenges but isolithatha step by step ukuze likwazi ukuthi libe sustainable. Lifane netiye lase eGhana banetiye labo be government eGhana even ne coffee labo. So if bekwazi ukwenza why singeze ukwazi thina ukwenza sikwazi uNatal sinemhlaba ogood nomhlabathi ogood for that. But Gumbi enye okhuluma ngayo sengizokuhlanganisa nje ngoba isikhathi sizongihlupha yilena ukuthi wake wakhuluma no-MEC nifuna ukuthi nimnikeze iplan enizosiza ngayo la kwezo agriculture. Wanqaba u-MEC nami futhi bengizonqaba. You know why? Uma nihluleke udeveloper iplan ekwazi ukunwinisa ama-election nihluleke ni-DA bese nizosidevelopela iplan ukuthi sigovernishe thina ningakwazi kanjani ukwenza lokho? Ngoba kusho ukuthi iplan eni yefaila if inifailisha ukuthi nwina ama-elections So in terms of garnisher from the back door. But let me assist you, because with any younger into ANC, you fail. You know, inking esinayo. Ukuthi awazi mhlambe uyongitshela ngelanga ukuthi uyazini ngesivumelwano salenhlangano okuyona abayenza bebamhlophe bodwa ngo1902 ukuvumelana bona bodwa ukuthi okokuqala bazokwabelana nomnotho wale South Africa, okwesibili bazokubalana ngomhlaba wale South Africa, okwesithathu uthi umuntu omnyama kangeni kulesivumelwano. Kodwa ukhona wena la isivumelwano sikhiphela ngaphandle kusona. Angazi nobuyazi yini ukuthi ngo1910 babe sebesi-implementa sabasemthethweni lesivumelwano bakha uhulumeni wabo wabamhlophe bodwa bakhiphela ngaphandle wena njengogumbi. Angazi nobuyazi yini ngo1912 ukuthi lokho okwenzayo manje ukuthi ube kulo le DA okuyona is because of laba abantu abathi angeke sivumele abelungu baphathe bodwa. Sifuna umhlaba wethu, sifuna umnotho wethu, sifuna ilungelo lokuvota. Bakwenza ukuthi ube neoption ukuthi nobungezile kuANC kodwa uye enhlanganeni oyithandayo. Yilo ANC namhlanje okukhuluma ukuthi ayikho ekwazi ukuyenza kodwa ukwesizile wena ukuthi ubule DA okuyona namhlanje. Lo ANC othi ayikho into akwazi ukuyenza ukusizile ukuthi ube nele business onayo namhlanje ngoba umuntu omnyane wengekazi abe ne business. Lo ANC othi akakazenze lutho ukusizile ukuthi uhlale kuledlo ohlala kuyona, uhlale even nakule area ohlala kuyona ngoba umuntu omnyama engakwazi ukuhlala kuleyo area ngaleso sikhathi. Instead of tubonge lo ANC because usudla nawo amakhofi uyakhohlwa ukuthi
Chairperson. Hayi. Uma phela siserela nika ANC shoneni isiphula.
Imake Msimang. Honorable Msimang. Honorable Msimang. Honorable Msimang. Honorable Msimang, on what rule are you standing? Honorable Msimang. Honorable Msimang.
lenjani iqiniso livusa ushukela.
Honorable Msimang, please. Please proceed, Honorable Mshulos. Honorable members, let's allow our Honorable MEC to conclude. Thank you.
So ke angazi uthi isandla sikusizile usikhahlelelana. Mhlambe ufuna sikukhumbuze bakukhumbuzile abanye ukuthi ababenza njenganawe asibazi bakuphi namhlanje. Omazibuko asibazi bakuphi namhlanje. Ombuhango asibazi bakuphi namhlanje. Babe grandstander njengo grandstander nje. Ombala intuli asibazi bakuphi namhlanje. Kuyokusiza ngoba usemncane ukuthi usheshe ulibone uma usuzika umkhumbi. Ngoba laba baphumayo bephuma ngobelendelana abamnyama bayabona ukuthi lesivumelwano esasenziwe ngo1902 asibafakanga bona ingakho nje bephumile. Ngiyabonga.
Ngamala. Thank you, honorable members. Honorable members. Honorable Dube, please take your seat. Thank you, honorable members. Thank you, honorable members. We have now come to the end of our debate on vote 3. thank you. You have behaved very well, including Honorable De Boer. I think we have done very well today. Honorable members, we will go for lunch and back at 12:50 for our next vote, vote 12, budget debate on transport. I thank you.